We were earlier joined by Hasten, live from Jerusalem in Israel. He's an Israeli journalist and a Middle East correspondent for the Jewish News Syndicate. We asked him about how Israel, is viewing all that is happening in Syria. Take a look.
So the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I don't think that's the case here in this reality, in this new situation. Of course, Assad, backed by Iran, backed by Russia for so many years, being a bastion of terrorism in the Middle East. But that being said, you now have uncertainty in terms of the Sunni rebels who have taken over right now, some of them backed by Turkey, of course. What will they do when it comes to Israel? Israel right now is bolstering its positions on the Golan Heights, which borders Syria. Reports this morning indicating that actually some Israeli tanks are going into a buffer zone between Israel and Syria via the Golan, which is the first time in 40 years. So it remains to be seen. All other reports indicate that Israel actually attacked a suspected Syrian chemical weapons facility over the last several days, because it could be extremely tumultuous if the rebels, in fact, get those weapons, if the rebels decide that they're going to turn their aggression on the state of Israel. It's something we have to pay attention to. In addition, over the weekend, Israel actually coming to the defense of a UN position which came under attack there along the Israeli-Syrian border. So Assad, even though he was in the Iranian orbit, even though Hezbollah, of course, aligned with Assad, Israel's been fighting Hezbollah, even though there's a ceasefire now, it remains to be seen what the future holds in between the realities which we saw this morning. Could, on one hand, positive is that Iran has been very, very weakened as a result of Israel's strikes on Iran and, of course, their proxies, Hezbollah and Hamas down in Gaza. You know, these might be different sides here. You're talking about Shia, you're talking about Sunni, all these different parties. But at the end of the day, Iran is the head of the octopus, and that still remains our greatest threat. But as you said, we do have to pay attention to this new reality. We do have to take into consideration the fact that some of these Sunni-led groups in Syria perhaps will turn their attention towards us. We know that they're enemies of Iran, but they are not a friend of the state of Israel. You can make the argument that certain Kurdish groups who are Western-backed, backed by the United States, definitely have common interests with the state of Israel. But if you're talking about the HDS, if you're talking about the rebels there supported by the Turkish regime, they certainly don't have the interests of the state of Israel or the Western world on their minds. So we have to pay attention very, very carefully to the spiraling situation there in Syria.